Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Mayank here, and today we are going to be talking about some of the basics of Scala. So Scala is a language used in big data mainly for Spark operations, and Spark, if you know, is a unified software engine. So we'll look at it in some of the later videos. And just to give an introduction of myself, so I am into research and data science domain, and I have around 7 years of experience. And through this channel, I want to explain all the big data technologies, whether it's related to data engineering or data science. I'll be explaining everything to you. And this is one of my first video series where I'll be talking mainly about Scala. So let's get started. So when you look at some of the properties of Scala, so it's very similar to Python because it's an object-oriented and functional programming. So object-oriented, if you know, that kind of programming has multiple classes and methods, and you also have something known as objects, which are references to which are instances of the class. So the main advantage of this kind of programming is that you don't have to write repetitive code. You can write a snippet of code once and then you can use it later. So that's a big advantage. So second point is it runs on JVM, which is nothing but just Java virtual machine. So the Scala code gets converted to a bytecode and then that is run on the JVM. Also, it is statically typed, means that you can see what the errors are while you are compiling the code rather than compared to some other languages where you see the errors only on runtime, so makes the code very efficient. And it's much more simpler to code compared to Java. So we'll have a look later that how the Scala codes are much more concise in terms of syntax. And similar to Python, it has access to a huge set of libraries through which you can perform a lot of different functions. So let's jump into some of the codes. So these are some basic arithmetic operations that Scala can do. So you can use it as a calculator. So the main advantage here is that you don't need to specify the data type. So the result automatically is stored in a variable, and as you can see over here, we're using the result of this calculation over here, and it automatically identifies what the data type is. So that's a big difference from Java. Even in Python, you have the same thing. You don't need to declare a type of your variable, whether it's a string, whether it's integer, double. So it can automatically identify when it comes to Scala. So next we look at val versus var. So you can declare the variables into different types. So one is val, which is a constant value. So whatever value you assign to the variable val, so that cannot change. It's immutable. And var is something where you can change the value later. So as you can see over here, so there is some value which is stored in answer, which is 42, and when you try to reassign some other value, it will show you error. And with variable var kind of variable, if you store some value, you can actually change it later, and it doesn't show you any error. So that's the main difference between val and var. So in var you can also store strings, no problem. Now coming to a very interesting part of Scala, and this is something which is unique to Scala, and that is that you can use methods directly on numbers or variables. So if you know Java, you have something known as object name dot method name to call a particular method. So in the case of Scala, your any number can be used as an object, and then you can call any method directly on top of it. So 1.210. So dot 210 is a method and 1 is your object. So this will give you a range within 1 to 10. Similarly, the toString operation which is there in Java and Python. And also you directly call this operator. So this operator is nothing but treated as a method in Scala. So you can use a plus b or you can use a dot plus b. And the other thing is that all the primitive data types that are there in Java, they are available here in Scala. So you can see byte, char, int, boolean, long, float, and all of these are available. But the main difference is that you don't have a concept of wrapper classes, meaning you can use all of these data types as it is. So byte, char, int, boolean, long, double, short, float. So all data types are treated as classes. So this is a very important point. And there is no distinction between wrapper and primitive data types. So if you know Java, you have some primitive data types, and then when you want to use those data types as a collection, you have to call wrapper classes. So that is not something there. So it makes coding really simplified. And of course, the variables are all treated as objects. So moving on to some string operations. So you can check out string ops class in Scala, which has a lot of functions. So one function is intersect, which basically gives you the common alphabets that are there in two strings. And then you can directly access any alphabet within the particular string using a parenthesis. And you can also use a method which is known as apply, which will give you the same output. So you can also sort your string using a method called sorted. And the main difference between the methods in Scala and Java or Python are that you don't have to specify a parenthesis if you don't have any parameters. So in Scala you use parenthesis only when you have to pass some parameters. So example, if you call the same function in Python, you will have to use a parenthesis over here. So that is something which is not required. And then last, coming to the collections. So collections is a concept which comes from Java. So what it does is collection is nothing but a collection of objects. So it is an object which stores other objects basically. And as we know that in Scala, all variables themselves are treated as objects. So you have something known as list. So this is how you declare a list. So this v will be small val list equal to list 1 2 3. So these values will be stored, and then you can print all the elements in the list using a command for each. So that also you do in different ways, as you can see over here. So println is nothing but your println as in Java. So it will print line by line, or rather one line at a time. And then you can also use a function known as map. So map, what it does is like your lambda function in Python. So it will add value to each of the variables within the list. So your output will be 3, 4, 5, and then you can have the same output by using a placeholder notation. So underscore is a placeholder notation, so which is doing the same thing. And unlike list in Python, Scala lists are immutable. So that's that's what I have for this video. I hope you liked the video. So please subscribe and let me know if you want to add anything, if you want to see any particular thing in Scala. So I'll make a video on that. And next video we'll be talking about different transformations and actions that are there in Scala. And you can also follow me on Twitter. I have my Twitter ID over here. So that's it. So see you in the next video.